All right guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for clicking on this week's video. This past week I have been doing a lot of wheeling and dealing, a lot of phone calls, and a little bit of horse trading. And I got something for the channel that we're gonna be building out hopefully this winter. I wanted to share it with you today because I'm eager to get into it. It's a project that is stuff that I used to do before YouTube, and I'm getting back into it. I wanted to share it with you guys, get you guys' thoughts on it, see if you want to see something like this on the channel. Either way, I'm going to be building this thing out, and I figured I'd want to share it with you. As you can tell behind me, my shop is kind of empty. It's because we're missing the John boat, the boat that we just built out here on the channel. I had a lot of big plans for that boat, but usually with me, once a project is done, I'm ready to move on to another project, and it just so happened that something that I had been wanting for quite a while now, I found became available, and the guy was willing to work with me, you know, with the boat on trade. And anyway, I was able to make a deal, and I got something really, really cool that we're gonna build out here on the channel. I don't know how I thumbnailed this video, so I don't know at this point if you know what I'm talking about, what I got, or if it's fixing to be a surprise for you. But it was delivered yesterday. I haven't touched it yet because I wanted to film everything. It's been sitting for years and years. It's been sitting for, I know in one place for over 5 years, but then before that it was sitting somewhere else for a lot longer. So I'm gonna take you out here to the backyard, show you what we're fixing to be building here on the channel. It is freaking awesome. I cannot wait to start this project. We got a lot of work to do today though to get it cleaned up and try to figure out how we're gonna get it to fit in my garage. Let me show you what I got. This is a 1979 Chevrolet square body, short wheelbase, and it's the custom deluxe edition. This thing has been sitting for a long, long time. You can see it is sitting on 39.5-inch Super Swamper tires. This truck has a 6-inch suspension lift, a 4-inch body lift. I basically, guys, bought a monster truck. I mean, the window is up to my nose right here. That's how tall this truck is. It is a beast. It does have a motor. It does have a transmission. The guy said that I got it from when he parked it 5 years ago. He was having some issues with the motor, so it got parked. He thinks it's gonna, all it needs is a little bit of work and it can run. My plan is we're gonna just pull this thing apart this winter in the garage once I figure out how I'm gonna get it in the garage. But we're gonna pull the motor, pull the transmission, rebuild everything. My plan for this truck as of right now is to get it a little bit lower. I don't want this big of a truck. I mean, it's super cool, don't get me wrong, but I want to daily drive this truck, and I think 39.5-inch Super Swampers are just not a daily drive tire. These are really fun for mud bogs and stuff like that. I think we can get this back down to some 35s, maybe a little bit smaller of a lift, or possibly we're just going to lose the body lift on it. Body lifts on these trucks, they look kind of cool, but they cause so many issues with the gears and everything else. So we're probably going to end up losing the body lift, but I told him not to touch it. I was like, hey, just pull it out of the woods and bring it to me. I want to be able to go through this truck with you guys. The bed of this truck has like 2 feet of pine straw in it still, because it's been sitting, like I said, for 5+ years up under some pine trees in the woods. So we're going to get to kind of go through it, see everything that's in it. We're going to clean this thing out today. I got a big job ahead of me. We're going to pressure wash it, see what it looks like after we get it cleaned up. I've got a buddy down the road that thinks he's got some wheels that I could pop on here, some smaller ones that'll fit, just for us to be able to get this thing in the garage, because I don't want to be out here all winter rebuilding this truck. I would love to be able to put this in the garage so I'd have some place out of the weather to rebuild this truck with you guys. But it's got a lot of work, needs a lot of cleaning to be done. So let's walk around it really quick before I pull out the pressure washer and we get to cleaning it up and just look and see what we can find in this thing. So right out of the gates, you can tell we need a grill and definitely need fenders. And the good thing about these old Chevy square bodies is the market is just flooded with parts. You can actually get brand new fenders for both sides for like $300 for these things, and you don't have to worry about pulling dents or bondoing or welding or anything like that. So we're just going to end up replacing these fenders. We need the front grille. I do want to go back with a factory bumper, but the bumper on this thing is actually pretty cool. It's got an old worm winch on the front that does work. I've got to look in the truck and see if we can find the actual cable and, you know, the little trigger mechanism to make it work. But he's got some KC lights on the front, KC lights on the back. If you look under here, it looks like it does got a pretty good little steering leak right there. It's been leaking for quite some time, but that's good. That just means those bolts are going to be a lot easier to get out than the rest of these bolts, but the frame actually doesn't look bad. The frame looks pretty good. If you look at the front fenders though, they have definitely been clearanced. Somebody went at that with a grinder and just kind of lobbed them off so the wheels wouldn't get in there and rip everything apart, but that's all fixable. All of this is fixable. The truck, I haven't found any Bondo. Now the rockers, they got some holes, as you can see across the bottom. I think we'll be able to address that. It's not too bad. He's even got some KC lights behind the wheels back here. How neat is that? I bet that looked really cool. I bet back in the day this was just a bad to the bone ride. I love the double roll bar setup back there. We may end up putting those back on the truck if they clean up nice enough once we're done with this build. We'll just have to see. It's got a good back bumper. The bed is in decent shape. I mean, there's a little bit of rust and a few little places we're gonna have to get a hold of, but the tailgate looks great. The tail lights are there. Got a really cool bumper sticker. I really like that bumper sticker. Look at this side over here. The bed, again, perfectly straight bed there. This door don't look as bad. It's still got a little spot here, and then it's got a little rust hole right there. We're gonna have to, so you can kind of stick your finger in that one there. That's just for ventilation though. We ain't got to worry about that too much. That's what cools the bottom of the cab off when you're going down the road. This fender here is rusted up, but it don't matter because, like I said, we're gonna get rid of those fenders. Let me show you guys. I don't know why my gimbal keeps beeping at me. I'm sorry. All right, maybe that fixed the gimbal. This thing started beeping at me and wouldn't quit. But it's got a nice tailgate back here. I mean, the tailgate looks great, actually. There's a little bit of surface rust, but there's nothing that screams, you know, replace the tailgate. The latch still works. And here's our bed of pine straw. Now, if I'm a betting man, I'm gonna say that the bed of this truck has got some rust on it because this pine straw is just known to hold water, and there's really no telling what we're gonna find. Look at there. Found us a four-way right out of the gate. Somebody liked the old banquets there. Got a little sea foam going on there. Old paint cans. This looks like an old breather here. Oh, that's gonna be fun to clean out of there. I'm gonna have to back the Nissan over here and just dump all this from this truck to the bed of the Nissan to get it out. It's got the double gas tanks, one on each side. Hopefully those are still good. The door opens and shuts better than my Nissan. Look at that. That is, I'm happy with that. Look at this rocker over here. No issues with it. A little bit of surface rust. Man, that's gonna be great. Now I do see some rear seals here for the transmission. See a couple of, yeah. Maybe they were having a little bit of issue, you think, with the front drive shaft, because this is what happens when you put these body lifts on. Look at this little stubby sticking up here. That's all they had available to be able to use the four-wheel drive or get to the transfer case, and that's one of the downfalls when you put a body lift like that on. But as you can see, the dash is basically gone. Well, the dash pad anyway. But like I said, these are completely replaceable. You can get this whole dash topper for a couple $100. You can get the bezel over there for $100. Like, there's so many parts for these trucks on the market that you can rebuild one of these. Couple $1,000, you can have just about all new parts on these trucks, which is really cool. I love the big old bench seat here. I have not looked in here yet. Is that open? Oh, she opens. Look at there. Got us some OTP in here. Oh my God, there went the rest of it. Well, what we got here? We got some old Charmin in here. I guess now we can go through it while it's down here. Look at there, some big old 12 gauge butt connectors. I always use them. Some other connectors. That's a little assortment. What is this here? Rust remover. We're gonna need some of that. Got some old Lucas in here. Have to figure out how to get our glove box put back in place, but let's see. Oh, look at there. Like it never happened. Got some old school toggle switches in there. I like those toggle switches. They've got a couple of them over there already. Look at there. Got a new 1/4-inch wrench right out of the gate. Some bulbs. All right, let's look behind the seat. I've been kind of dying to see what's back here. What is that? That's old railroad spike, ain't it? It is. Somebody paid $3 for that railroad spike. What in the world were they gonna do with it? Got old test light in here, old screwdriver. Let's see what's behind the seat. Woo! Woo, look at there. We got, are those kickers? Those are kickers. We got some kickers right here. So I'm just having all kind of camera difficulties right now. It overheated. I had to go in there and cool my camera off. Where was it? It was right back here somewhere. So look at there. I got a couple of 6x9s. Kickers in the box. That looks like a Felpro gasket kit. Is that a head gasket? It sure is. It's a full headset, and it don't look like it's been opened. I don't know if it's any good anymore, but somebody had plans on rebuilding this motor. So we got some targets back here. There's an old filter. Uh-oh, that's somebody's drawers. No, some sort of a bathing suit there. Look at that. Look at that claw hammer. That's a good one right there. Heck yeah. There's a bottom to the air filter. I'm not seeing a whole lot of rust back here. I got another old plate. That's a 2006. It's got a classic tag on it right now. Let's go to the other side and see what's over there. So right now we're running the, he's got a classic tag, because in Alabama, once you're over, I believe, 25 years old, you can get the vintage tags. And this door does got a big old dent right there, but it's still, it opens and closes really good. I'm wondering if we can, instead of replacing this door, if this door is going to be fixable. We'll have to see there. But this side, she's a little bit different. This one's got some rust right there. This is a typical area too. These right here, if the truck's parked for a long time, angled just right, this is going to hold water all up under that seal, and we're going to have to address that. Let's see what it looks like under here. I'm seeing some rust. I don't know. We're gonna have to, once we get it in the shop and we strip it down, we'll have to see about all that. But it feels solid, and I've been in there. I've sat in the truck. Let's see. Let's see if we can get this seat to go up. What's over here? There's them targets. Uh-oh. Somebody's been doing some Mardi Gras with this truck. Somebody wants some Mardi Gras beads? You know what you got to do. There's some screws over there. There's a top to the filter. That old umbrella here. There's that other kicker. What is this? It's an old tripod to something, ain't it? I think so. There, look, there's our Warren winch trigger right there. And it should just plug right into the front of that old school winch. Let's go see. Make sure it's the right one. Oh yeah, that's exactly what this is. It says Warren right there on the side. It should plug up in the front. There ain't no battery in the truck, so I don't even know why I'm really doing it. Let's see. It's got a keyway right here. Yep, that's it. It's got a good, so when you get yourself in a pickle, you can unpickle yourself with this thing. And that is a beast right there. You don't see them this big in Harbor Freight, I'll tell you that. That's a big one. But I think that's about it on the inside in there. Got some old tire shine, because you got to keep them 39-inch swampers going. They even got me some old welding vice grip. Well, I don't know if them are savable. They might be. Old vice grips. There's something shiny right here. What is this? Oh, that's the top to whatever kind of tripod he had going on in here. But this side over here is them toggle switches I was telling you about. They look cool. I like that little billet hole look on these toggle switches. But I think he said there's also, he's having an issue with the wiring. He's got kickers in the doors here. The doors don't look too bad. So we'll have to mess with the wiring. I think all the glass looks really good in it. There's a window roll up and, oh yeah, look at there. Window goes up and down. The ceiling, let's see up here. Ceiling looks good. Got the visors still in here. Sliding back glass, looks like it just needs some seals. Those seals coming off around the door over there, they do that. They start shrinking when they get a certain age and certain temperature. It's got the old steps here. Somebody got into this step. Somebody hit something pretty hard right there, because that's 1/4-inch thick aluminum, and they popped that right in half. The other one on the other side looks good. And I'm not sure if they're still rare to find, but I'm pretty sure these are those old, dang, what are these wheels called? I was just looking at them the other day on there. All right, take 3. This dang battery overheated again. I swapped them out that time. We should be good, but it was good that it happened when it did, because I couldn't remember the name of them wheels, but I think they're called turbine wheels. And if I'm not mistaken, those are getting pretty hard to find. And I got a full set of them on here. I like the way they look. I hope they look as good on 35s, because that's my plan, is to either wrap these in 35s or either go back with the traditional rally wheels. I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but them turbine wheels are a good look on these square bodies like this. I think we're gonna have to get us some mirrors. This one's toast, and the other one over there, it's the old Bluetooth edition. It's not even on the truck. And then if you look at the top of the truck, let's see if I can tilt y'all up there. We got the old KC lights across the top, and that's the old school original KC lights. I believe those are from the 90s, because I don't believe their logo looks like that anymore. If I'm not mistaken, they changed their logo. But as for the rust and stuff like that on the frame, it doesn't look bad. And I was originally kind of worried about, you know, when I seen the truck and they started sending me pictures of the truck, I was trying to zoom in, because I thought for a minute, you know, a lot of people like to take a long wheelbase Chevy and cut it down and then, you know, make it into a short wheelbase. And sometimes you find you a short wheelbase, and then later on you find out that you actually bought a long wheelbase that had been cut down. And it's not. This is a true short wheelbase Chevy. Nothing's really been chopped up on the inside down there, like as I'm talking like suspension wise, like it's got a real lift on it. It's not something that was kind of fabricated in somebody's backyard. It's got a real rough country lift on it, real body lift on it, which we're gonna probably get rid of it, and we'll just go from there. But first we got to get this thing cleaned up, get all this trash out of here, and figure out how to get it into my garage. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go get the pressure washer, go put me some shorts on, because it is hot. The camera's shutting off for heat for a reason, because even though it's September here in Alabama, it's pretty freaking hot out here right now. So I'm gonna go grab the pressure washer, snatch everything around here. I'm probably gonna have to pull the Nissan over here first, back her up like right here by the bed, go get me a shovel, and we're just gonna start throwing stuff out. Maybe I'll find some goodies in here that I get to keep for the shop. I already got the 4-way, got a 1/4-inch wrench. We're in the plus side right now on the tools, but let's see what else we can find and see how old Blue here looks like after we give her a bath. All right, y'all, I've got her cleaned up. I've even got, look at that bucket. I've got a whole bucket down here full of goodies from the cab. I did go ahead and clean the cab out. I pulled the seat out. I pressure washed the inside of the truck. Yes, you heard me. I pressure washed the entire inside of the cab, and I found a lot more rust. So there's gonna be a lot more work that needs to be done, but I'll show you. Got the seat laying here behind me. And if you look in the back of the old Nini here, I've even got some wheels. I found some rally wheels on the old Facebook Marketplace. I don't think the tires are gonna be any good, but I just need them to hold air long enough to be able to roll this thing around the yard, get it in and out of the shop. And she cleaned up pretty good. I mean, it's definitely not gonna be like showroom shine or anything like that because she is rough. This was a toy, but let me show you guys how she turned out. The inside, like I mentioned, there's a lot of rust. We're probably gonna have to end up cutting out the floor pans this winter, welding in a new bottom, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. Let me show you what she looks like. So it's actually been a few days since you guys seen me do all that pressure washing. We've had a couple of storms roll through here. Look at all the leaves. We got some trees down back there. The power went out for a while, but we're good to go now. Here's the wheels that I picked up, and they ain't mint by no means. They're pretty rough. They've had the old spray bomb treatment. The tires are pretty dry rotted, but I aired them up when I got them here in the bed of the truck, and they've been holding air since yesterday, but of course that's with no body weight on them. I just need to be able to pop them on there long enough to roll them in and out. I might keep these wheels and just replace like the center caps and the beauty rings, depending on how, you know, bad these wheels actually are. Once we get the tires off, they could be just trash and just good enough for rollers. But here she is. She turned out pretty good. While she was wet, she looked really good, but once she dried up, you can tell she's faded up pretty good. But the patina is really nice on this truck. I mean, if it wasn't for the fenders being chopped off like that, I would probably just put some old, what's that, patina wax on her, shine it up, and after we get it running, just drive it like this. But since we got to change the fenders and the grill and some other body panels, we're probably going to end up having to do a full paint job. But I really like the way it turned out. The tailgate looks fantastic back here. The bed, as you've seen, got a lot of rust in it. We got a couple of big holes right up here. There was a bunch of paint cans full of paint, and they kind of just, over the years, fell right through almost over there. That weight with the rust just pushed them on through. So the bed, I'm not really that concerned about. I mean, we'll address it by the time we get there, but that'll be one of the last things we do to this truck is the bed. This side turned out pretty good. Some of the paint did blow off. I don't think there's any Bondo anywhere. I think it was just where it had been scratched up and chipped and stuff like that. And you can just see where it kind of flaked off in places to the primer. But all in all, the outside cleaned up pretty good. The glass looks great in this thing. And them KC roll bars, man, those things shined up good. Let me show you guys the inside though. Here's where the bad part is. Look at all this rust I found. Now, it is only the floor pans and the rockers, but remember earlier I was like, oh man, this passenger side is great. Well, as soon as I pulled up the weather stripping and the seal, look at there, it's all the way gone. So we're probably gonna end up having to cut all of this out, replace that, and replace the rocker on both sides. Now back here on this side, it's not bad at all. The paint still looks good. The floor looks good. It's not banged up or scratched up or anything like that. So I think it's going to be sandable and, you know, paintable by the time we get there. I pressure washed all of this, guys. I opened these doors up and just went to town. And then I took a leaf blower and blew out as much as I could. But I mean, we're going to be stripping it down anyway. And I'd rather do it out here while I can versus trying to do it in my garage and just blowing rust and dirt and all in my shop. Show you over here. Same thing over here. A little worse on the driver's side. Whole rocker's gone. There's not even a lip on this side left. And got a little breather hole right here. That's just for the ventilation, so it blows up on you while you're driving. I did pull the plugs out of the floor so that the water would drain out of here. And all in all, I'm glad I pressure washed the inside. I pulled the speakers out. I stripped as much as I could so I wouldn't water damage everything, but it's gonna work out pretty good, guys. I think those wheels are gonna get me just low enough to be able to roll it in the shop. I probably will go ahead and pull the bed off, set it to the side, and get as much big stuff off of this before I try squeezing it in the garage. That way I don't have to do it in the garage. And I may even just pull the whole front clip off of this truck. That's one thing I do like about these 79s is it's not a split hood. You don't have the, you know, that extra piece that goes here, then the hood starts here. It's all one piece, and I really like that. So we should be able to pull the hood, pull the whole front clip off, leave nothing but the cab on the frame, and then eventually probably pull the cab because now we got to do them floor pans. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to save all of this moving it in and out of the shop and pulling the bed off and everything like that for another video. And for those of you who watch my videos every week and you're not into stuff like this, don't worry, I'm not going to let this project kind of take over the channel. I am going to sprinkle this build in because I will be doing it, you know, no matter what, whether it's behind the scenes or I let you guys know what I'm doing. But I'll film as much as I can for those of you who do want to follow along. But I'm not going to quit my regular stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm working on something really cool right now that I want to show you guys. I'm getting ready. I got invited to an Overland Expo in North Alabama, and I'm rigging the old Tacoma out as we speak. I've been out here. I've got a brand new tent up there that you guys haven't even seen yet. I'm going to be reviewing it real soon. I just reinstalled all of my kingpin lights on this tent, and we're going to be doing the full Overland Expo deal. I think I'm going to film that, make it a video for you guys. So stay tuned for that. If you're into this truck stuff and you want to see me build this, let me know in the comments. Just like the video, let me know, hey, I want to see this big old truck built, because I think it's gonna be a fun build, y'all. And I do want to kind of record the whole process of me doing this. So let me know in the comments if you do want to see this. If you're in the world of parts and stuff for these trucks, if you work somewhere or you're watching this and you sell stuff for these trucks and you want to sponsor the video, I'm going to need all the help I can get with this thing. And if you don't, you just want to sponsor the channel, $5 a month you can join. It's a membership thing. We got a great group of followers down there in the YouTube members, and it's $5 a month. All that money goes into helping me film this content and do stuff like this to put it out there for you guys. So if that's all you can do, and if you can't do that, just hit subscribe, hit like, share the videos. I want to be able to build this thing out. It is going to be expensive, and the more products and sponsors that I get for this, the quicker it's going to go and the more I'm going to be able to film and kind of show that stuff on the channel. But don't worry, for those of you who aren't interested, like I mentioned, we're still doing the camping stuff, we're doing the kayak stuff, the boat stuff, the fishing stuff. All of that stuff's going to stay the same, but you will see old Blue here make an appearance every now and then as I update you guys on this build. It's going to be fun. But anyway, guys, it is starting to rain again. It's been raining for the past 3 days, and I think it's going to rain for the entire weekend. So I'm going to try to get these wheels unloaded, get them in the garage, and whenever I got some dry weather, get them put on here and see if we can get this truck fit in here. If you like this video, make sure you give a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and you like stuff like this, be sure to go check out my homepage. I got a bunch of videos where we do builds and stuff like this. You might like it. Hit subscribe while you're there. I really appreciate you guys watching. I upload every Monday at 6 p.m. and I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.